Welcome to the Coach Bryan Moore Show. I'm Margaret Ann Prayer alongside Coach Bryan Moore. We're here after 10 weeks of football, 10-0, Coach. Let me go over where we're broadcasting, and then we'll get right into the questions. You can find us on YouTube and Facebook, and sometimes on the NFHS Network if we get it uploaded. Also, if you'll watch the NFHS Network, if you can't make it to the games on Friday night, we broadcast all our Friday night games there. Upcoming November the 2nd, I want to promo that, and I'll try to remember to promo it through the show. 6 p.m. we're going to have our playoff special where we'll interview Coach Moore and our team captains about the season and what's coming up in our first round of the playoffs. Let's go over our sponsors also. I can't forget Eddie Pruitt Ford. You got Marmac Commercial Real Estate, the Agency on Main, Life Church, Corum's Building and Farm Center, and Peck Funeral Home. Well, Coach, now that I've talked enough, let's talk about our game. Friday night, decisive win, 65-20. I looked up at one point in time, we were on pace to score 100. So that was pretty good. Way to end the season. Yeah,
we played well, especially offensively, settled in defensively especially after half. We were fine early, but again, settled in, and we kept getting the ball back. I mean, I think, I looked up and there was 2 minutes left in the first quarter, and we had it like 4 times. Yeah. And that hadn't happened. It's been a deal where people try to keep it away, and we hadn't had possessions, and we had several Friday. So, and we're able to keep pushing. And obviously, we had some guys that really played well, but loved our plan, loved the way that we executed. It was a good night.
The big news from this game, or to me, I'm just going to cut to the chase, was injuries. Because before the first half was over, you had Tidwell and Armadio Dunnigan with crutches.
Yeah, I mean, ankle stuff, but they'll be fine. We're fortunate. We got good reports on both guys, both lifted this morning, and so that was very promising. I don't know that either of the guys have had an ankle before, and, for the guys and girls on here that know about ankle stuff, it's troubling when it happens. It scares you. And it hurts, and then you kind of get used to it, and kind of figure out how to apply pressure on it and stuff like that. So both were there today, and we're good. And John Hammondtree and our staff's done a really good job with them, and we got on the rehab stuff quickly. Had it been maybe a make or break type game, maybe they would have gone. But we're trying to be smart and aware of kind of what's going on and where we are in the season.
And wasn't that nice to be able to take precaution?
It was, and silver lining is that Quattlebaum got to play some center, which we've talked about needing to be able to do in case of that very thing, and we didn't have any snap issues, so I was pleased with that. And then Ray was able to touch it more because Armadio was out, so you kind of saw what happened then.
Yeah, he's coming up. All right, let's talk about JT. Didn't have his best performance, pretty good. 14 of 25, 220 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception.
Yeah, I thought he was good early. He didn't respond to the interception maybe the way that I had hoped. He was fine after a couple of plays, but he tried to make a play and fit a ball in there and didn't have to. And he now knows that, but he ended up playing really well down the stretch, and overall was really good. But when you're talking about JT's numbers, if there's 9 incompletions in there, whatever, 11, whatever it was, for him that's a bunch. Usually right. He's 75+% or whatever. So I think it was good, teachable stuff in there. But overall, I thought he played well.
Well, that's one thing that I wanted to say. Just as an anecdote. You give these numbers to any other high school quarterback, and they're going to be like, pretty good game. That's a good game.
Yeah, solid.
And we're like, what happened?
Right. Yeah, only 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, only 2 touchdowns. What are you talking about? No, it's nice to have that problem. So, JT, if you're watching, that's a good thing. Ray Fletcher, dadgummit. Another incredible night, 6 rushing touchdowns, 314 yards rushing, but the stat that got me was 19.6 average yards per rush.
Well, he's averaging 12 a carry on the season now, which is a number that I've never seen before. But Rye's finally healthy. And again, early in the season, wish he was here, all that stuff, but it helped us so much in other ways, develop other guys. And then to have him back down the stretch has obviously, I knew he was different and special. And but he's doing so much more now within the game plan. Like, it used to be where he'd go busting out the front side and just outrun everybody, kind of like junior high football. Mm-hmm. But now he's staying in the fit. He's coming out, late out of double teams and stuff where they can't see him, and he's making safeties miss, or he's getting tough yards that he didn't get a year ago. That sort of thing is why you see that average so high, that he hardly ever has a 0 or a negative rush. It's always 4 or 5 is a bad rush for him, and then there's that 50 in there too that bumps that average. So he's been, and then blocking on the perimeter too. I want to mention that as well. I mean, obviously the front, the box 6 have done a great job. It's sometimes 7 with Reed in at tight end, but the receivers have blocked downfield so well, cutting guys off. That's what allows them to spring those runs. Is it's always one guy to beat, not 2 or 3.
Right.
And that's because we're sustaining blocks and doing a really good job. Really, the whole structure of the deal. And then the other part is JT keeping guys off of him with all the screens, right? What do those screens do? Those fade routes do, those hitches do. They keep guys out of the box. They keep the count right so he can make those big runs, but it all works together. And then, of course, how we've called the game. I mean, with Coach Prater and Coach Lang and all of our offensive staff, they've just done a great job of the adjustments and then, again, settling into a game plan. It doesn't take them long to get it nailed down. Hey, this is how they're playing a certain formation, and putting us in really good spots.
It's that chemistry.
It is.
It's a great situation or a good thing to have. Let's talk about our Eddie Pruitt Forward Player of the Game. You got Eli Tidwell. Friday had 8 catches for 131 yards and a touchdown. But I think that you'll probably agree with me on this. This honor was not just for this past game, but his performance for the entire season. He has been so solid.
Yes.
And he's been there to do whatever you needed.
He has, and we played in the in the spring game, and we didn't have Eli, because they were playing baseball.
Right.
And in that game, we said, he's probably, just looking at our people and kind of the matchups and stuff, he's probably got to slide inside. See, last year he was an outside Z, which would be mostly our field guy, runs a lot of home run posts and stuff like that, quick screens and stuff to him. But we knew that he could first develop physically enough to get in there and play kind of the spot Trent played last year and block. He's a little undersized, but he's a really good athlete, strong kid, to be able to hold up there. But it gives us so much more versatility when he's able to go to the boundary and Isaiah's able to go to the field, and we're able to move Eli around. But Eli has just, last year he didn't have a touchdown, and we tried to get him in the end zone several times. And this year he finally had one against Mae Jemison, and then has exploded since. Right. And you're seeing that him kind of catch up with Isaiah. And as far as catches and then touchdown catches as well, obviously average yards per catch have been huge, like 20 a catch, which is a big number. But he's been so good and so solid. Eli could play defensive back, could probably play running back for us if we wanted him to. He's just a big-time athlete, probably a college baseball player, probably a college football player if he decided to. But he has just done so much that people don't know. Again, a lot of that dirty work that we talk about every week, Eli's done a lot of that.
Well, he's been very impressive. One takeaway I had from both sides of the ball, and I remember I was standing on the sideline talking to Russell Fry, the Hartselle Inquirer reporter, and I was like, there's some coachable moments here. So let's talk about the offensive side of the ball. What did you see that were coachable? What do we need to work on?
Well, we had I got JT one time because he missed an edge rusher on a zone pull. So basically, he had the guy and he's reading him and he let it go, and then Ray ended up going around the guy, which should have been a pull for JT. So that was one. Another, throwing across our body with JT, down there in the red zone. Again, we just didn't have to. It wasn't 4th down. We're probably, the way we're running it, going to score anyway. And, he kind of forced a throw, which, he has 18 touchdowns, so there's been some good throws off that same type action. He was a little bit late with it. And then I thought Eli, when he went to the boundary, got pushed out of bounds a couple of times. We were trying to throw him a fade ball, which we never ended up hitting. Part of that was our release. And so there were some moments in there. We're always looking for them. I thought there were some pass pro things where we got put on our back at tackle a couple of times. That can't happen. Obviously, when we go forward to the playoffs, the level of competition is going to be better, and so we better be perfect on that as far as our technique and where our feet are and our balance. And I didn't think we were. So we had a bunch of those, and I think we had a turnover on downs right there in the second half early that we didn't score on. We hadn't had many of those this year. We went forward on 4th down, didn't get it. So again, there were some of those things that we've got to do better. So we're always looking to improve, and again, we're going to have to do that in 2 weeks.
Exactly. We'll be right back after a break. You're watching the Coach Bryan Moore Show.
At Marmac Commercial Real Estate, our focus is providing service second to none. If you're looking to buy commercial property, development land, income-producing properties, or a farm, call the Marmac Commercial team. We provide service second to none. You can reach us at 256-214-2196 or 214-2227, or you can find us on our website at www.marmaccommercial.com.
All right, we're back with the Coach Bryan Moore Show. Coach, offensive production was off the charts. You ran for 423 yards. You passed for 220. I mean, we're starting to look like the Big 12 here.
Well, yeah, and sometimes the time of possession can be a little bit of an issue, to be honest with you. I'm never going to complain about scoring, but sometimes, it's good to keep your, your defense off the field. I don't think we'll have that problem here in a couple of weeks.
True.
It'll be whatever we got to do to get the ball in the end zone. So, but yeah, I was really pleased with our balance. That 600 plus yards of offense is, I can't say that that's normal. We've had, again, the balance that we've had has been really good. And then the other part, though, to that is our defense at times got us the ball back quickly. I mean, we had a big interception. Bull had a big interception that was big for us. DJ had 2 interceptions. So the turnovers, when that happens, you saw it against Russellville. You saw it Friday night. When those turnovers happen and we get the ball back quickly, that's when those huge numbers come out. Exactly. And so, again, that was really fun to see and gave us some short fields. And we scored in, a lot of times 2-play drives, but again, time of possession could be a little bit better. It's hard to say that, but
that's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem to have, but the total yardage, it's been there. And again, the rushing numbers continue to go up each week.
It was senior night. So I want to circle back and ask you, what have these seniors, this will be your second year with them, and their leadership?
Yeah.
What's that
It's
mean?
not a big group. There are 15 of them, and they have, some of which are just coming to us to play for the first time. We've got a couple that just came out this year, and a couple that are playing in reserve roles, a couple that we got in the game that hadn't played a lot this year. We've had some that have been injured. Evan Pagani's been injured. Diego Valentin's been injured. Lucas Smith just came back to us this week and played. And, so we've had guys that it was good to get them out there. Fisher punted Friday. And that was fun to see that. And but again, we've had great leadership. This group hadn't been together long. To be honest, me or the coaching staff for the most part hadn't been with them, and also they didn't play. A lot of them didn't play together in junior high, with JT transferring in and DJ Bishop transferring in. So we've had a lot of new faces. They've had to gel together. We had a dinner at my house after after May Jemison. It was the Friday. We had a Coleman watch party, we called it, where they played Jasper, and we had a bunch of wings and stuff. And I thought that was big for us, that some moments like that have allowed us to bond together and really have made this a special year. I mean, I think for me, 2 years, a year ago when we were playing, in 2020 against Austin, to think that we'd be here. After week 10 and be 10-0, I'm not sure. And then COVID and all the things that we've, everybody's dealt with it, but to be a new staff and to deal with it was really difficult. So I'm just proud of everybody that's been involved. I mean, so many people have so much to do with it. But again, these seniors have had a special year.
Who was your guy on offense this week? Because I like this question, so you're going to hear it over and over. The dirty work guy that we don't know about. Not the Ray Fletchers, not the Eli Tidwells. Who showed out?
We've got an easy one this week. I think Scout Arp is our guy. When Tide went out and Q went to center, Scout is a 10th grader that moved to us this year, and he's going to be a really good player. He just hadn't been with us. As far as the workouts and stuff. And, he came last off season, but he just was catching up a lot physically. He's a big kid, might have a chance to be a college player. He's 6'4", he weighs 260, 270 pounds as a 15-year-old 10th grader. And so he's growing every day. But for him to go in there and play really 3/4 of the game was really huge. And Scout's been right there all year, with Reed and Ryan Ammett and those guys that have kind of played in different roles. And Ryan went in and played a bunch of center for us at the end of that game too. But those guys have stepped up, and so I think Scout was that guy this week.
That's awesome. We'll be right back. You're watching the Coach Bryan Moore Show.
I'm DeWitt Tankersley.
And I'm Jane Hampton, and we're your agency on Main. Local realtors here to serve you. One of our team members will be more than happy to find you that perfect home. Go Tigers!
And I'm here with our Eddie Pruitt Ford Player of the Week, Eli Tidwell. Eli, you had 8 catches for 131 yards and a touchdown against Buckhorn. But, you know, what I want to say about this has become the standard for you. You're our go-to guy. I had you in class with me. You're just kind of quiet, but you came in every day and you did your job. And then when I look up, you got like a 98 average. That's what you're doing here. You're always our go-to guy on the team. I think of somebody like Julian Edelman, you know, somebody we know we can rely on. So how have you done that? What's your work ethic? What do you do to maintain this level?
Really just showing up every day and just doing my job and trying to help everybody else get what they need to get done.
That's awesome. All right. Offense doesn't have a lot of big personalities. You know, I was talking to you off camera. I talked to you. You don't like interviews very much. Ray, they said he ran off the field Friday night because he didn't want to have to interview with everybody. He's kind of quiet. Yeah. Zay's quiet. JT's kind of quiet. Who's your leader when it comes to it? Who's the one that gets everybody going?
Well, I'd say we all just kind of know like what we want to do and all come together with each other and lead each other to where we want to go.
And quietly. Who do you think is the best defense you faced so far?
Probably Coleman.
You know, that's what everybody has said. So yeah. Coleman was the best defense so far. Okay. How would you like to see your game grow? What do you want to improve on? I mean, hopefully we got a lot of season left.
Probably just trying to get faster and try to keep my body where it needs to be and just get stronger.
Gotcha. Because you do punts. You've returned punts too, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, I mean, you're kind of doing all sorts of stuff. I'm waiting to see you on defense. Favorite part of practice? Ask everybody this.
I like minis. It's where we just do it's kind of like a hand circuit where we just catch. So we run like now screen, hitches, just short routes, but it's just good for your hands. And
I heard over the summer you had to get the jugs gun out.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you enjoy that at all?
I mean, it's not bad.
It's not bad.
I mean,
well, you do baseball stuff, okay. What do you plan on doing after high school?
Hopefully I can get a scholarship offer to play baseball somewhere.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Looking forward to a big season there too. All right, this has been Eli Tidwell. You're watching the Coach Bryan Moore Show. I think you did great.
I'm Ray Lampe, Dr. Barbecue, and I'm here to tell you about the Big Green Egg, the ultimate cooking experience. The versatility of the Big Green Egg is unmatched. It delivers big results as a grill, a smoker, and even an outdoor oven. Grill burgers, kebabs, steaks at 800 degrees, slow smoke a perfect slab of ribs, and even bake a crispy pizza. When the doctor cooks, I demand the best, and that's why I cook on the Big Green Egg, the ultimate cooking experience. There he is.
All right, we're back with the Coach Bryan Moore Show. Coach, let's go to defense. You held Buckhorn to under 300 yards, if I could talk. 164 yards rushing, which I know, that's a positive for you. So, and they had a big mobile quarterback.
Yeah.
So what did y'all work on last week that helped you out?
Well, I think it allowed us to play. They were a little bit more conventional in what we see, a little bit more like us, as far as being 20 personnel, threw the ball around, ran some RPO stuff. The mobile quarterback was a problem. I mean, there were a couple of those. I don't know, out of that 160 or whatever, I bet he had at least 60 of it, maybe more. A couple of those were scrambles, which should have been 10-yard losses, and he got out of it. He's a good player. Now, he's a senior, thank goodness, and for us. But he's a really good player and kept him on the field some. But I thought overall, I thought we were better up front. I thought Porter played really well. He had like 9 tackles. A freshman D lineman with 9 tackles is a big deal. Dom played good. I thought Dalton played really good inside. We moved some pieces around, and Jake Haynes played a little bit more than he has. I thought he played really well. Trace, was there again for us. Trace continuing to grow and get better. And then, our DBs, having DJ back was huge for us. From an overall defensive standpoint, that allowed us to, move Drake around, and we kind of subbed those guys. And I thought Walker played good. So really proud of those guys. Obviously, Bull with the pick was really huge. And then Peyton Steele settling back in after being back for 2 weeks was huge as the free safety. And then the guy that we hadn't talked a ton about is Jake England. Jake has he had a safety, had some big plays from the rover position. So proud of Jake too. So again, overall, I thought we tackled better on the whole. We still got a long way to go.
Well, and I didn't put that question in here, but I'm gonna ad-lib it. Jake got some tough coaching But what kind of response is that? He turned around and got that safety.
He did. We were in basically cover 2, and so Jake should have been over the top of that throw. And he's 10th grader. He got caught with his eyes in the backfield. They singled up their 6'5" kid for a reason and then threw him, and Walker was exactly right. And Jake just didn't get it, but he knew it right when he got to me. And I love that about Jake, that, I can yell at him, and then he responded immediately. Like, he didn't hang his head like most, 10th grade kids would, and just went right back out and played. And but that's what makes Jake special, and that's what makes him, resilient in the way that he responds to things, and because he can handle it, and that's huge.
And that was good to watch. I loved watching that. 3 interceptions. You talked about them just briefly. 2 by DJ Bishop, 1 by Bull. I thought Bull was just going to take 4 or 5 guys with him down the field.
He was close, wasn't he?
He just kept throwing.
Yeah,
people.
he's hard to get on the ground. But no, that was really cool to see, because we had worried about that slant RPO deal. And so where most people would kind of rush out of there or come down in the run fit a little bit too quick, Bull kind of held his ground like we talk about. He buzzed to the disconnect, ball came out, he threw it and Bull picked it, and then, usually he scores. I mean, he was close to doing that again. He had a lot of traffic in front of him. But that was huge for us. And then how about DJ's the second one,
great.
where he's like toe tapping the sideline. I thought that was really great pick and very athletic play. That's what he provides us. To me, he's a natural corner. We've played him at running back, safety, rover, and now at corner. And that really, to me, is his natural position, because you got to think, he's been in the South, playing against Auburn High School and Central Phoenix City, and those guys, and covering those type players every week. And so for him, it doesn't bother him when a 4-star receiver comes out there. He's used to it.
He's used to it, yeah.
And so he's played really well for us.
It must be an Eddie Pruitt Ford player of the game thing, because Trey Soden, we had him here last week, and then he shows out again this week. Led the team in tackles with 15.
Yeah.
He's doing a really good job at linebacker.
Well, he's got great length, and we know that. But it's been about coming and creating the action at the line of scrimmage, being really physical, fitting it right. And I thought, once again, since mid-season or so, we kind of got on Trace pretty hard. And he struggled against Coleman, that downhill deal. But since then, he's taken it personally, and he's not coming back out of that game. So we've not had to worry about him, and been really pleased with his development. He's going to be one of our leaders next year as a senior. He'll be a 3-year starter next year.
Wow.
So Trace has been through the fires, and he's played 20-plus varsity football games now, and a bunch of JV last year included. And so he's really coming along.
Well, and let's talk about unsung hero defense. We talked about the guy on offense that did the job. That was Scout. So what about defense?
Well, I thought Isaac at times, he played a little bit of Mike for Mookie. Mookie got a little banged up with his ankle. And so, Isaac's been really versatile for us. But again, I got to go back with Porter. I think Porter is learning how to play. He's always had a motor and plays really hard, but there's all that technique involved too. And he's like 6'5", so his pad level, we are always talking about it. Coach Fulks does a good job, and Coach Hill with him. And he's getting to a point now where he's fine. Like, we don't have to worry about him anymore. We know what we're going to get. He's not out there jumping off sides, and he had a little personal foul that I had to get him about. But look, man, some of that stuff with Trace and Porter both, it's an edge that we want. Now, we don't want to finish. We want to stop when the whistle's done, and we will address that. But at the same time, there's a little bit of an edge that goes along with playing defense, man. And, again, some of that's going to happen. It's, again, not going to go without being handled. But you like that from Porter. He's not afraid of the moment. He's not afraid of them, and to be, a young kid, to be a ninth grader is really special.
All right, then one more defensive question. Things on film you're going to be able to look at and improve on. So what do we not do? What do we need to work on?
We got to tackle.
Tackle better.
We've got to. Well, in 2 weeks, if we don't tackle that guy, he'll go 70 on us. He'll be the best running back we've seen this year. And we better tackle him. And we won't be able to get multiple people to it. We'll run to it. But if you have a chance to get him on the ground, you better do so. And so for us this bye week is going to be pretty rough. And we're going to get after it and have to tackle. Now, the good news is tackling Rice pretty hard, right? So they're going to have to do that at practice some. And so we got to continue to get better at it. We're just not great right now. But it's obviously something we'll address.
All right. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. You're watching the Coach Bryan Moore Show.
Hey folks, my staff and I here at Eddie Pruitt Ford would like to thank you guys. We're in our 37th year in business, and we'd also like to thank the Hartselle Tiger football team that the preparation they put in for Coach Moore and his great staff, and especially our kids has worked so hard in the off season to get ready for another great season. Go Tigers!
All right, we're back with the Coach Bryan Moore Show. Coach, looking at next Friday, we don't have a game. So let's go through our off week. You discussed it a little bit in the last segment, but just kind of tell people at home what we're going to look for.
Yeah, we'll be heavy early in the week. Like we back squatted heavy today. We actually maxed our freshman class today to get a single rep max from them. So some of the things we hadn't been able to do, we're able to do. So we'll practice, a pretty long practice this afternoon, Monday afternoon, and then Tuesday we'll have another big one, and then Wednesday and Thursday we'll play it by ear. We'll see how Monday and Tuesday go. We've got some team building stuff coming late in the week that we want to do to have a little fun. The biggest thing at this point, especially with a bye week, week 10, is do you still want to be here? And I know everybody, that for some people would be like, why would you not? You're 10-0.
Long season.
Look, it's been a long time, y'all. Since April 29th was our first football practice. Okay. Before that, we had a grind of an off season all the way from last December. Okay. We lifted over Christmas break last year. All right. So we are a little bit fatigued. And so I told them before the Athens game, I said, I need you guys to give me 4 weeks. It went Athens, Muscle Shoals, Hazel Green, and Buckhorn. Give me 4 weeks, and then I'll let you decompress. We let the coaches, same thing, said we're not coming in on Sunday. We took Sunday off. We brought them in later. We're coming in at 8 a.m., which is very late for us. We're usually there 7 or earlier. And so just to sleep and just to sort of reset, we're going to have some fun things within practice. Some Tiger, what we call our third group, Tigers, and White group, which is our JV, scrimmage. They're going to scrimmage on separate ends, and the older guys are going to watch them and have some fun with it, you know. And so we're going to try to do some things that get them going because, again, if you don't, the monotony is going to wear them down. And you can't have a sharp team. You know, Shane asked me Friday night, you know, how have we not had a letdown? Well, we've got to keep focusing on the things that keep us present and keep us wanting to be here. And we're going to do that this week.
Okay, Coach, we don't have a team to prep for this week, so we're not going to discuss them. But we match up with Region 6. Clay's already locked up the region. 2 through 4 are all tied, so I'm going to go over them. You can tell me what you know, what you're expecting. Gardendale, they're 7-2. They're going to host Florence. Florence is 5-4. Jackson-Olin is 7-2. They host Winona. Winona's only 1-1. Pinson Valley are 6-3. They travel to Lee Montgomery, but they just lost this past week to a 4-5 Valley team. And by the way, that was a shock. That tells me that I've been living under a rock. I had no idea Valley was 6A now. They used to be 2A. Way back when.
Way forever
ago. And Margaret Ann hasn't watched because I don't pay attention to Auburn, right? Or that area. Anyway, so that's what we got going on. Tell us what you've heard and what you think might happen.
Well, so crazy. So 3-way tie because they've all beat each other. All right. So it goes all the way down to tiebreaker L, which is opponent non-region win. So basically if Gardendale beats Florence, they get the 5 wins that Florence has, okay? And they add those up, and collectively, that's how seeding works. So to choose the second place team, I don't see how it won't be Jackson-Olin. I think Jackson-Olin is going to lock up, or has, barring 9 unforeseen things, okay? They're going to be 2, and then I think Pinson's going to be 3, and Gardendale's going to be 4. Now, again, there are a little bit of shake-up type things that could happen, but I just don't foresee that happening. We're preparing for Gardendale. We'll go Thursday night and watch them play Florence, which is great that we can actually see them. We have every game that they've played already on film, and they are the best team that we've played, and will be. Any of the 3 would be.
Exactly.
It's just the way Region 6 is. And so the good news is, though, if you win, you won't see them again, that region, until the 3rd round. So you won't play Region 6 back-to-back or anything like that. I think we would end up playing maybe a Homewood or Arab or somebody like that in the 2nd round. But it will be quite a matchup. Athletic.